First off, I want to address the situation with my wife, who is currently undergoing chemotherapy for cancer. Unfortunately, one of the side effects has been hair loss, which has understandably made her feel insecure. In response, she purchased a wig and has been wearing it, especially around family and friends. I fully support her decision and have no issue with her wearing the wig. However, things took a turn for the worse when my sister and her twin teenage daughters moved in with us after my sister's messy divorce. While overall, things have been going smoothly, my nieces have become fixated on my wife's wig, bombarding her with questions and even attempting to take it from her. The situation reached a breaking point when my wife woke up one morning to find her wig missing, only to discover that my nieces had taken it and were pressuring her to remove it. This led to my wife locking herself in the bedroom, crying, while my nieces continued to harass her, even recording the ordeal. When I confronted my nieces about their behavior, they brushed it off as a harmless prank, but I was furious. Their actions were not only disrespectful but also deeply hurtful to my wife, who is already going through a challenging time. Despite my sister's attempts to downplay the situation, I firmly believe that their behavior crossed a line, and I made the decision to ask them to leave our home. Despite their protests and pleas, I remained resolute in my decision, prioritizing my wife's well-being and comfort. Even when my elderly father intervened, urging me to reconsider, I stood firm in my decision. My wife's emotional well-being is my top priority, and I refuse to subject her to further distress by allowing those responsible for her anguish to remain in our home. Switching gears, I'd like to discuss a separate issue involving my girlfriend's sister, Carolyn. She is preparing for her third marriage, and while I won't delve into the details of her previous marriages, it's clear that she has a history of tumultuous relationships. Despite my girlfriend's insistence that we attend the wedding, I am hesitant to do so given Carolyn's track record and the strain it may put on our relationship. As an avid fan of March Madness, I typically take time off work to fully immerse myself in the tournament. However, this year Carolyn's wedding falls on the same weekend as the tournament's opening days. While my girlfriend believes it's important for us to show our support, I can't help but feel torn between my passion for basketball and my reservations about attending yet another wedding for Carolyn. I find myself grappling with conflicting emotions and priorities, torn between supporting my girlfriend's family and honoring my own interests and boundaries. It's a delicate balance, and I'm struggling to find the best course of action that respects both my commitments and my own well-being. I wasn't surprised when they approached me about being an usher for their wedding before confirming a date. However, when they settled on this weekend months ago, I immediately realized I wouldn't be able to make it. This wasn't just any weekend. It coincided with the start of the March Madness basketball tournament, an event I hold dear and traditionally celebrate with my friends. I explained this to Lindsay, my girlfriend, who is well aware of my annual ritual and passion for the tournament. Despite her insistence that I attend her sister's wedding, I stood my ground, emphasizing the importance of this tradition to me. Our discussions became somewhat heated, but in the end, Lindsay relented, giving me permission to do as I pleased. So, I notified her sister via text that I wouldn't be able to attend. Her response was somewhat indifferent, with a hint of curiosity about my reasoning, but the conversation quickly ended. Nevertheless, they kept a spot reserved for me at the wedding just in case I changed my mind. However, Lindsay has remained upset with me ever since. She has suggested that I could attend only parts of the wedding, but given my commitment as an usher, it would require my presence both Friday and Saturday. With the rehearsal dinner on Friday and the wedding ceremony on Saturday, I don't want to be the guest who appears disinterested, glued to his phone, watching basketball the entire time. Therefore, I believe it's in everyone's best interest if I simply don't attend. Despite my explanations, I continue to receive messages from Carolyn and Lindsay's mom questioning my absence. Lindsay, in particular, has resorted to name-calling, accusing me of being childish for prioritizing 2 days of basketball over attending her sister's wedding. I tried to reassure her by saying I would have no issue attending Carolyn's fourth wedding, but the timing of this event coincides with the March Madness tournament, which has been a cherished tradition for me for years. In my opinion, I am not in the wrong here. When I agreed to be an usher, the wedding date had not been finalized. and I had prior commitments. While I understand Lindsay's disappointment, this is more than just about basketball. It's about a tradition that holds immense significance for me. Ultimately, I believe my decision is justified given the circumstances, and I hope Lindsay and her family can understand and respect that. I understood that it would have more of an impact on him being a kid. Now that we're both fully adults, the last few birthdays have been like this, and I fight tears the whole time. I love my family, and I know they love me, but I feel so left out and forgotten. I don't hold this against my little brother. He's seriously awesome and one of my favorite family members. I feel like such an idiot for feeling this way in the first place. Now I'm at the point where I want to skip these joint parties, not to make a big deal out of it, just to say that I have other birthday plans, and will catch up with everyone later once my birthday has passed. So, I don't have to keep feeling this way every year. But I'm not hurting anyone's feelings. At first, I thought this was because you were maybe a teen and your brother was a little kid, and therefore, it would sort of make more sense. But you're both adults. I would skip the parties. It's pretty inconsiderate to have a cake you can't even eat. This sucks for your mom to make a cake with an ingredient you're allergic to. That takes the cake. Why bother going to an event where you'll know you'll be snubbed? You and your brother could do something cool together instead. What the heck? This is really crappy of your family. Not only are they making you and your present an afterthought, but feeding you something you're allergic to. Even if it's mild, you're still allergic. I wouldn't even go anymore. Birthdays are supposed to be about the birthday person. And if there are two people or more, then it's about all the birthday people. They are picking favorites and deeming you less important. But you have to talk to your family about this. You're imploding your feelings, and if you keep doing this, you will snap on the wrong person, and then you will become the idiot. Your feelings are 100% valid. Next year when they invite you for your birthday, explain that you didn't appreciate the party and it should be held for your brother only. They will likely ask why, which you can be upfront about why. You owe it to yourself to do this. Your family probably doesn't even realize what they're doing. My brother and his wife, both 27, have 2 dogs. I never liked dogs at all, but my brother and his wife forced their dogs down our throats for years whenever they came into our family vacation house. For the record, the family vacation home used to belong to my grandma, but after she passed a year ago, she passed it down to me. So, technically, now it's my house. All of my siblings and parents are still allowed to vacation in the house. Of course, that won't and will never change. My brother and his wife used to bring their dogs, but now that I'm the legal owner and a mother of 2 kids, I told them that he and his wife are welcome but the dogs aren't. I despise dogs, and also, I don't want them around my kids. My mom and dad back me up on that decision. However, my brother and his wife weren't too happy about it, and they said they'd not visit if they weren't allowed to bring their dogs. I told them to leave the dogs in a pet hotel or with some relatives of his wife, but they said this is not possible, and they'll just make sure to vacation elsewhere where their dogs are welcome. I got mad at them, and so did my parents, and told them they're ridiculous for valuing their stupid dogs over their vacation time with family. They didn't care. The rest of my siblings claimed that I'm the idiot for how I reacted. They said I'm right not to want the dogs in the house, but I can't get mad at our brother and his wife for not being comfortable visiting the family vacation home under these conditions. They claimed our brother respected my conditions, and I'm just mad he instead chose to vacation elsewhere instead of catering to me and vacationing in my house without his dogs. Am I the idiot? Yeah. Why are you mad, though? You can spend time with them some other way. They want to vacation with their dogs. Would you go to their vacation house if they barred your children? Same principle. Let other people enjoy their vacations and mellow out about it. Anger is bad for the body. You are the idiot. Opie is mad because they wanted the power rush of forcing their brother to kowtow to their decision to rub in his face how much better a pet-free vacation is, etc. In other words, Op is mad because the brother saw this for what it was and decided, yeah, nah, vacationing with my extended family actually isn't that important to me. This person couldn't wait for grandma to kick it so she could get the house until brother dogs were no longer welcome. I'm surprised she didn't have a no dogs welcome sign at the funeral. Why don't you want dogs around your kids? Most kids like dogs, especially ones they've previously vacationed with and seemingly had no issues other than their parents going absolutely nuts because of their mere presence. You are the idiot. Here's a little backstory. About a month ago, my brother, let's call him John, asked if his friend, female, 20, let's call her Sarah, could stay at my parents' house as she just got kicked out of her home, and she could sleep in my room. A couple of days after Sarah's been at my house, they announced that they were dating, and my mom was upset as John made it clear that he was just helping out a friend, not a girlfriend, and she now has to deal with her underage son with a 20-year-old girlfriend. Sarah then lost her job due to global issues and had bills piling up for her car payments, and my dad has been paying it off until she gets back on her feet. I got her a job through a friend of mine, and she was meant to start a few days later. Fast forward a week, and we find out that Sarah is pregnant and ends up not taking the job. I'm the only daughter with 6 other brothers in my parents' house, so Sarah has been using the bathroom in my room as it's more hygienic than the bathroom in the hallway that 6 boys use, and I don't mind this, as well as John's room being significantly smaller than mine. I've talked to my parents about the rooming situation, and they both said that everything Sarah did was her choice and that it won't change anything about the way we live. But Sarah has been dropping hints about wanting my room for John and her unborn child, and I brush it off as I'm only tolerating her because she's pregnant with my brother's baby. I don't hate her, I just don't like where her priorities are with her life. As she is 20 years old, just got kicked out of her house, has car payments that my father is still paying off, and is now pregnant with my underage brother who hasn't worked a day in his life. She posts on TikTok like she's living her dream life with her baby daddy. So am I the idiot for not wanting to make things easier for her and give her my room? Like you said, she made her bed and needs to sleep in it. And why didn't she take the job just because she found out she was pregnant? You can work through pregnancy. It looks like she just wanted to get her hooks into someone to take care of her, and Opie's family took the bait. She decided to get pregnant. She gets to deal with the consequences. Boo-hoo. Her baby daddy has a tiny room. She's just lucky you let her use your bathroom, which I doubt she would allow you to do if she had your room. Just because she's pregnant doesn't mean you have to rearrange your whole life to accommodate her. Your parents need to kick Sarah out and stop paying her car payments. This whole thing sounds like a disaster, and I suspect your brother is going to regret getting involved with this woman. I doubt she's even pregnant and only using pregnancy as an excuse to keep mooching off Opie's parents. Like, how did Opie's family even find out? She could have bought the positive pregnancy test on Craigslist. Nothing is stopping her or her baby daddy from getting a job if she wants to afford a bedroom with an ensuite bathroom rather than taking yours. Not the idiot, Opie. She's a user and will take whatever she can get. After your room, she'll want other things of yours. Perhaps her behavior is why she got kicked out of her previous house, and maybe she lost her job not because of the global situation but her behavior. Of course, she is living her dream life, free rent, free food, someone to make her car payment, and soon you're going to be her free babysitter.